Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and we are back to more wealthy monsters. We've gone over a number of people thus far. Today, we're going over, for the first time, three individuals in one because they're all part of the same family. Now, previously, we had done Bernard Arnault and family. Where is Bernard? Yeah, and family. But he's the only one listed. Now we're going after the Waltons. The three Otis Walton siblings. Rob, Jim, and Alice. And with that, let's pull this up here. Want to know about the Walton family. This is from 4029 TV, which looks like it may. Well, that's Bentonville. That's where actual Wal-Mart's located. Where is it? Seem to be headquartered. I don't know. Anyway, with this, let's close this little thing here. I thought it'd be on the right, but it's on the left. The Walton family is the richest family in the world. It owes its wealth to the Wal-Mart company started by brothers Sam and Bud Walton in northwest Arkansas more than 6 decades ago, and the brothers' heirs and heiresses have spread their wealth and influence to the worlds of art, banking, education, and athletics, transforming communities they live in. You know, this, oh, we are trying to spread the wealth, make things better with our wealth. I can't remember what the word is called, but essentially it's like, oh, we're wealthy, so we're going to provide good works, good things with our wealth. But yeah, below is a family tree followed by charts illustrating the Waltons' wealth. Only family members who have become public figures are included. They all descend. Sam's the big name, but there's also a Bud Walton. Now, from Sam, you have a number of kids. Jim Walton, Alice Walton, Rob Walton. Apparently there's also a John Walton, but he's not as prominent, apparently, because they don't have an image. From Bud, you have Nancy Walton Laurie and Ann Walton Cronke. Let's start digging into some of these individuals. Sam himself was the wealthiest person in the nation for a part of the 1980s, when Wal-Mart was at its explosion, at its growth. Jim Walton, his son, worth $109.2 billion. 109.2. Chairman and CEO of Harvest Bank. So he owns, or he runs, a banking company. former member of the Wal-Mart board. Rob Walton, worth $110.5 billion. Former Wal-Mart chairman, co-owns the Denver Broncos and is on Wal-Mart's board of directors. And then you have Alice Walton. She is worth $101.5 billion, founded Crystal Bridges, and is on the Walton Family Foundation's board. Now, there was also John Walton. He's worth $18.2 billion, or was, because he died in 2005. Now, John Walton, I guess he was married to Christy Walton, worth $18.6 billion, and established Cura Del Mar investment fund. Together they had a Lucas Walton, or I don't know if that was his mother or not, but it was the son of John Walton. John's son, Lucas Walton, is worth $38.3 billion and is on the Walton Family Foundation board. Same one Alice Walton's on. Alice don't seem to have married with anybody. But Jim, I don't know if that was his daughter, wife, or what, but Annie Proietti, chair of the Walton Family Foundation board. So, again, another member of that same board that we've already seen 3 members on. Jim also had Stuart Walton as a son, member of the Wal-Mart board, founded aircraft and cycling companies, and was chair of the Arkansas Economic Recovery Task Force. And apparently he married a Kelly Rohrbach, who played C.J. Parker on the Baywatch movie. Now, and let's see, Jim also had James Walton, who is on the Walton Family Foundation board, another member, co-leads the social impact fund WIND. And finally, Jim Walton also has Tom Walton, who is on the Walton Family Foundation board, another one of those, managing principal of the Rope Swing Hospitality Company, and apparently is married to an Olivia Walton, who is a Crystal Bridges board chair. We saw Crystal Bridges, founded by Alice. So you can see how it's very tied together. Now, Rob Walton is worth $110.5 billion. Former Walmart chairman, co-owns the Denver Broncos and is on Walmart board of directors. So co-owns the Denver Broncos. I think, who else co-owned? Or it may have just been him I was thinking of, but yeah. Now, apparently he had a daughter, Carrie Walton Penner, who is on the Walton Family Foundation board, co-owner of the Denver Broncos. She owns it with her dad. She apparently married a Greg Penner, chair of Wal-Mart, and Broncos co-owner and co-chair, or co-owner and chair. So, from Bud Walton, we get Nancy Walton Laurie, worth 14. Well, first of all, Bud, namesake for the Razorbacks basketball arena for the University of Arkansas. But yeah, Nancy Walton Laurie, one of his daughters, worth $14.8 billion, owns Missouri's Providence Bank, and is co-chair of Page Sports Entertainment. She apparently was married to a Bill Laurie, who was former owner of the St. Louis Blues, and is co-chair of Page Sports Entertainment with his wife. The other daughter, Ann Walton Kroenke, is worth $12.7 billion, co-owns the LA Rams, Denver Nuggets, and other sports teams, and is married to a Stanley Kroenke, who is worth $16.9 billion in his own right, owns 30 million square feet of real estate, owns the LA Rams, the Denver Broncos, and other sports teams. Ann Walton Kroenke also had, apparently with Stanley, Josh Kroenke, president and governor of the Denver Nuggets and Colorado Avalanche, and Whitney Ann Kroenke, film producer, co-founder of Playing for Change. And look at how much each of these people and these families had. Just look at all that. The only one we didn't talk about was John, who passed away. His wife was Mary Ann Gunn, was a Washington County Circuit Judge, star of Last Shot with Judge Gunn. Only family members who have become public figures are displayed, so those who aren't public figures are blacked out. So yeah. But that's just the family in general. They are the richest family. And you compare families owned by, or companies owned by families, there's really no contest. Wal-Mart, huge money. It's why I've always hated shopping at Wal-Mart. It's a monster. It destroys small towns. It is vile. And it's yet there's always these people who are like, but I like shopping Walmart. Now here we have it from the Forbes real-time billionaire list. Rob Walton, $132.9 billion. Jim Walton, $130.2 billion. And Alice Walton, $121.3 billion. 300, not far from $400 billion. But yeah. This was 2024, $267 billion. That was as of February 8, 2024. The Waltons are the richest family in America thanks to the stake in Wal-Mart, the world's largest retailer by sales. An estimated 45% of Wal-Mart's stock is held by the families of 7 heirs of founder Sam Walton and his brother Bud. Heirs include 3 living children, Rob, Jim, and Alice, his daughter-in-law, Christy, and their son, Lucas, plus Bud's 2 daughters, Anne and Nancy. Rob Walton served as chairman for more than 2 decades and remains on the board alongside current chairman Greg Penner, his son-in-law, and Rob's nephew Stuart. A group led by Rob Penner and Rob's daughter Carrie Walton Penner bought the NFL's Denver Broncos for a record $4.7 billion in 2022. The family's fortune is enhanced by the 7 sports teams. 7! Including the Los Angeles Rams, the British soccer powerhouse Arsenal, which is owned by Stan Kroenke, husband of Anne and Walton Kroenke. Look at all this. Their wealth was like this. It dropped a little bit in 2016 and then just boomed during the pandemic, and it's just grown. It's disgusting. It really is. Let's go ahead and look at their Wikipedia article here. Walton, which means a place with the suffix ton, meaning town, hamlet, farm, and one of the prefixes walled, which means a wood or wallisk foreigner or wall farm worker. That's where the name Walton comes from. Sam Walton is the founder, and they are the Walton heirs are the wealthiest family in the world, and is an American family whose collective fortune derived from Wal-Mart, making them now the 2nd richest family in the world. Let's open this up. Where is my mouse? Boom. Ellisons are now your richest family in the world. David Ellison, Larry Ellison. They tried to buy HBO Max, but it looks like Netflix is going to end up beating them out. So, yeah. Now the Waltons are the 2nd richest family. They were for a long time the richest family. They are the 3 most prominent living members, the big value holders. Jim, Rob, and Alice Walton have consistently been in the top 25 of the Forbes 400 list since 2001. As were John, who died in 2005, and Helen, who died in 2007 prior to their deaths. Christy Walton took her husband John's place in the ranking after his death. The majority of the family wealth derives from the heritage of Bud and Sam Walton, who were the co-founders of Wal-Mart. Wal-Mart is the world's largest retailer, one of the world's largest business enterprises in terms of annual revenue, and with just over 2.2 million employees, the world's largest private employer. It is the Walton family's wealth is majority held through the investment holding company Walton Enterprises, and as of December 2014, the Waltons collectively owned 50.8%, just a slim majority, of Wal-Mart. In 2018, the family sold some of their company stock and now owns just under 50%. So they own almost half. Not quite, but yeah. In December 2024, the Walton family's net worth was estimated to be $432.4 billion. They talk about the Walton Family Foundation, charitable foundation, philanthropy. Philanthropy was the word I was trying to think of earlier, where rich people say, I'm going to do nice things because I want not to be seen as a complete and utter asshole. I knew I would think of it sooner or later. It just wasn't coming to me for some reason. Sorry to kind of jump out with that, but yeah. Walton Family Foundation is their charitable foundation. The Walton family fortune is broken down as such as of February 2025. Rob Walton with $117.7 billion. S. Robson Walton with $119 billion. Alice Walton with $109.8 billion. Lucas Walton with $40.9 billion. Christy Walton with $19.9 billion. Nancy Walton Laurie with $16.1 billion, and Ann Walton Cronky with $13.4 billion. So yeah, we looked at their family tree in another article, but yeah. With that, what we're going to do now is look at them individually. Jim Walton, 77 years of age, chairman and well, it did say he was CEO in the other page, but it still says chairman here of Arvest Bank, chairman of Community Publishers, okay, American businessman, currently an heir to the fortune of Wal-Mart, the world's largest retailer, and as of May 2025, is the 12th richest person in the world with a net worth of $114.1 billion. And he is the youngest son of Sam Walton. Joined Walmart in 1972, which I think it was only founded in like 68, something like that. When did Sam found Walmart? Like I said, I think it was in the, I know it was in the 60s, but I'm wanting to say it was 68. Did I really overpass something that said it earlier? Because like I said, I could have swore I saw something. 60. Yeah, 62. So I was thinking 6 years later than when it actually was. So founded in 62, Jim Walton joined in 72. And after 4 years, 76, moved the family-owned Walton Enterprises as president in 1975. Okay, let's look at our next Walton heir here, Rob Walton, also known as S. Robson Walton, who is 81. So where Jim went to Arkansas, Walton attended the College of Wooster and then went and graduated the University of Arkansas. He's the one who bought the Denver Broncos with his daughter and her husband. He's been married twice. Collects automobiles. You know, some of us collect games, collect cards. He collects automobiles. Alice Walton, our last one here. So apparently she went to Trinity University. Wasn't like her two brothers there who graduated from the University of Arkansas. Founded the Llama Company, an investment bank, where she was president, chairwoman, and CEO. First person to chair Northwest Arkansas Council. And had a major role in the development of the Northwest Arkansas Regional Airport. Even got a terminal, named the terminal at the airport in honor of her. Because let's face it, how many billions she got? She could have contributed to that. The Alice L. Walton Terminal Building. And she's in the Arkansas Aviation Hall of Fame because she's rich, not because she's a great pilot or someone who knows a lot about flying. No. She's rich. Sam Walton, in his autobiography, said that Alice was most like me, a maverick, but even more volatile. Now, one of the things we know about her, art. Walton and her mother would often paint watercolors. First piece of art Walton purchased was a print of Picasso's Blue Nude when she was 10, and it cost her 5 weeks' allowance. Her first museum quality network or artwork purchase was of 2 Winslow Homer watercolors in the late 1980s. In December of 2004, she purchased art sold from the collection of Daniel and Rita Fried of Sotheby's in New York. In 2005, purchased Asher Brown Duran's celebrated painting Kindred Spirits in a sealed bid auction for a purported $35 million. When you've got billions, $35 million, chump change. Because think of how many millions go into one billion. And then break that back down, 35 million. Nothing. The 1849 painting, a tribute to Hudson River School painter Thomas Coe, had been given to the New York Public Library in 1904 by Julia Bryant, the daughter of Romantic poet and New York newspaper publisher William Cullen Bryant, who is depicted in the painting with Coe. She has also purchased works by American painters Winslow Homer and Edward Hopper, as well as a notable print of George Washington by Charles Wilson Peale, in preparation for the opening of Crystal Bridges. In 2009, Walton acquired Norman Rockwell's Rosie the Riveter for $4.9 million. $4.9 million. Again, chump change. Walton's attempt to quit smoking inspired her to purchase a painting reminiscent of her earlier painting by John Singer Sargent by Alfred Maurer, which depicts a full-length woman smoking. Another painting by Tom Wesselman titled Smoker Number 9 depicts a hyper-realistic disembodied hand and mouth smoking a cigarette. In a 2011 interview, she spoke about acquiring great works by other artists, including Marsden Hartley and Andrew Wyeth, saying that she loved the emotion and spirituality they expressed. Other artists whose work Walton has also purchased includes Georgia O'Keeffe, Mark Rothko, Edward Hopper, Kahind Wiley, and Titus Kaphar. Her interest in Walt and the Walton Family Foundation developing Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art in Bentonville, Arkansas, and the architect Moshe Safdie designed the 200,000 square foot museum, which was built on 120 acres of Walton family land. Crystal Bridges opened in 2011 and has been visited more than 5 times as of 2021. It is free to attend, and Walton says their motivation for the museum was to give access to art to people who never had it. I'd rather you give access to homes, food, healthcare to people who don't have it than fucking art. There's that word. Philanthropy. In 2016, she donated $225 million among a total of $407 million from Wal-Mart heirs to the Walton Family Holdings Trust, which finances the family's philanthropy. Married prominent Louisiana investment banker in '74. Divorced 2.5 years later. According to Forbes, she married the contractor who built her swimming pool soon after, but they too divorced quickly. Involved in multiple automobile accidents, one of them fatal to a pedestrian. April '89, she struck and killed 50-year-old Oleta Hardin, who had stepped onto the road in Fayetteville, Arkansas. No charges were filed. Oh, isn't that convenient? But yeah, thought we'd do a little in-depth look at the 3 Wal-Mart heirs. Like I said, ridiculous money. Just insane. But with that, we'll go ahead and end this episode here. As always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Someone tells you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I'll be putting my links and sources in the description box below the video. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, later.